Good evening, everybody. We're starting a bit late. This is Dr. Sandy Long Reitner, nurse practitioner, autonomous. We are doing the general quarterly meeting at this point, starting at approximately 8:15. We'll try to run this a little under an hour. A lot of the information you may know, and a lot of the information is updated. The most exciting things that are going on is conference, and conference is coming in 2 weeks. That starts on the 9th for the workshop and the 10th and 11th in Tampa. Um, let's see if I can control on this side. Pretty much we're going to go as quickly as we can because it is an evening meeting, and hopefully everyone that's here, and I see several names of people that have been here already, they're on the boards. We are running like crazy, but doing very successful work right now in the actual conference that's up and coming. We're going to review basic information. We're going to review some new updates that are going on. A lot of the meetings that are going on, the coalitions, the Unity or the Quinn Council, uh, stuff like that we'll go through as quickly or as efficiently as we can. I do see one other person, which is Rosemary, who's our current government chair. Have her take a look when we get into that section. Maybe she'll be able to be of assistance at that point. I'm trying to click the slide to go further. It's not letting me do that. There we go. Our current board consists of myself, you can see, and we do have a vice president. That's going to be Susan Lynch. Susan Lynch was an original founder of the organization back in 2007 to 2014 and continued on with other endeavors and has returned. And we've kindly asked her to come back. And now she's now working as a vice president. We look forward to a lot of information with her and improvements as we continue. We have our secretary who is currently on the Quinn councils and such, and that's going to be Dr. Raquel Bicknell. She is on maternity leave. We have Dr. Vernon Langford, the treasurer. He is currently working on some other activities for today, so we will review his paperwork and his information accordingly, and we'll continue on with the continued board members. It's letting me move it around, Sam, but it's not letting me switch. Okay, there's Samantha, our newest executive director, executive manager, who will be replacing Jesse. Jesse is moving on to additional endeavors that she's planned on for years, and we thank her for all of her great service. Samantha will be taking over Jesse's slide and is currently working with us now on running the slides. So both of us are having a lot of fun with it. Amanda Davis, thank you, Jason. Our education director is Amanda Davis. Our government chair is Rosemary Latham, and hopefully she'll get a chance to speak for a few minutes on a couple of bits of information and some updates as I believe sessions come to a close, and we're all focused heavily on conference. Can you go to the next slide, Sam? Up for election, we have a membership chair coming up. Our membership chairperson is available, but remember, take a look at the bylaws on the front of the web page, and you'll see where and who can qualify for those. If you feel that you meet the criteria, please let us know. We have some new members at large, which is Michelle Falco. We also have Amy Chu, and I apologize if I missaid that. Amy, if you're here, I think you might very well be. I want to thank both of you for being here and qualifying qualifying to be able to come up to the board like we're doing. Again, any member can do that as long as they meet the criteria, and we want you to do that. Most people do very quickly. They come on as either a director or as a region director, which is Dr. Sanders for Region 1. We have Madeline, who's also in Region 2. We have Dr. Perez in Region 4. We have Ms. Dansbury, who is currently on active duty. A lot of people with our current situations in Region 3 directors. These are all positions anyone and everyone can continue to hold once you satisfy the requirements, and we encourage new people on a regular basis. Go ahead, Sam. Go back one, please. Just take it back one slide, please. Okay, we'll come back to that then later on that slide. That has some additional, there we go. Dinah Stanford is our Region 5 director. Dr. O'Connor is our Region 6 Director down in South Florida. Our lobbyists are in Team 180, part of legislative conference committees that anyone can do. Stan Whitaker has returned, has been also an original founding member and is working Sergeant at Arms on the primary executive board and committees. Go ahead, next slide now. Our most recent updates for Florida still showing about from 2024, showing between 32,000 active nurse practitioners. Again, we're still oversaturated, we've learned. Total NPs from 24 and 25 are a little bit higher than the 32,000 that are there, but we're so oversaturated, especially in the South Florida regions. One of the big things that we're looking at that might be talked about for a moment or two is the fact that we have a lot of rural areas. That means we've got 63 other counties that are currently in need of having nurse practitioners, and we want to be there for the people. The idea is to get to those. I'm sorry, someone interrupted? Okay. I will open it up for discussion later on. We'll open up certain slides for discussion shortly. National ranking, Florida is the highest number of MPs in any state, which is wonderful news, but again, we are oversaturated, but in focused areas, primarily South Florida. Panhandle needs it. Central Florida needs it. West Coast needs it. These are places that we all need to be going to. This is outreach. The autonomous nurse practitioner, as of 2025, still remains at about 13.5 that are registered. Now, that's a little over 8,000 people, as it says. Probably the biggest thing, since it's limited to the family practice, is making sure that all of you have hopefully purchased the book or looked at it online or downloaded on your phone, because you have to make sure you understand what you can and cannot be doing. There is a lot of practitioners that are out there that are autonomous. One, you don't have to be autonomous. And if you choose to be autonomous, which we are encouraging you, it doesn't mean you are not with a physician. You can be still with the physician and do additional things under the physician. But the autonomous nurse practitioner is specifically under family medicine, under the general pediatrics and general internal sections. So please keep in mind that you are, in fact, looking at what you can and cannot be doing. Please do not push the borders if you don't have to. Current FLNP membership remains at about 1,300 people, and I thank you, and we're only looking forward to even more as we see those numbers increase and as our board continues to go through changes. And I want to point out the changes on the board. I've already mentioned that, but I do know we have several more elections coming up towards the end of the year. I encourage everyone to look and see if they qualify for any positions that are up and coming. Those will be announced shortly. And I encourage you to do that. We want the new blood to be in here. I myself will be finishing up my 6th year, which would be 1.5 terms. I'll be termed out, so I will not be able to run for president. Someone else will be able to. There are other positions that are coming up. We do want you to be involved. We want us to focus on the mission. Ask us about it, and we'll let you know, and we'll also mentor. We have mentors on board to be able to not leave anybody alone, but there are certain qualifications. Okay, next slide, Sam. As requested, we now have membership for $1,500, lifetime membership. That's a one-time fee, kind of apparently available, and that's it. We encourage as many people to consider doing that, and if not, that's fine too. But it's our newest, one of our newest, I can't think of the right word that I want to say, one of our newest benefits that are now available if you choose. Next slide, please. Our current expenses. These are the people that we have to pay on a regular basis. And I'm reading it backwards as our administrative plans and our website expenses. That's on YM and our LMS. We have a lobbyist team. This is again a group that is very much involved with all of the legislative things that are going on. We have our bookkeeper, Jenny Willis, and we have our executive manager, Samantha. We have our recurrent expenses. Our net income for as of February of 26 is about 16.5, 16.6. Our year to date at this point is about 51.5 for the whole entire year, which is a start, and that's good. We'll go ahead and keep moving forward. Next slide, please. Our regions. Now we have talked about restructuring a little bit. We want to get everybody settled in, and I'm going to mention this in the regional sections, 1 through 6. If you, well, maybe I have to move the slide over. Okay. I want you to recognize this is the saturation of where all the nurse practitioners seem to be, but the population doesn't handle the volume. Uh, Essentially, you continue up, and the next set is actually pretty much Orlando area, essentially, but there's not much out on this side as much as between here and down here. I'm thinking you can see my pointer. Up in Jacksonville is our next area that's saturated. With those areas completely saturated, we have the remaining areas that are pretty much empty. Positions for regional directors, all of the regional directors are asked to have assistants. Hello, Michael. Good to see you.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you too, very well.
Thank you.
If
Sorry I'm
somebody
late.
does have, say again, sir.
Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm tardy.
I got a phone call coming in. All right. If you happen to have a question or people have questions, please raise your hand, as I do recognize the time and I greatly appreciate everybody being here. So raise your hand so I don't have to necessarily slot additional times. My concerns here is I want to make sure everybody in regions 1 through 6 and all positions on the board and throughout the board are all at least having an assistant of some type. And it can be any board member they want, not a board member, it can be any member that wishes to participate. This gives you a chance to learn and advance as you choose, up and down the scales of our particular organization. And you can very well be on the executive board after 1 to 2 years, pretty much, of doing a couple of other things. We want you to participate, and I'll keep pushing that point. Okay, next slide. The Florida Coalition meeting. This is the mission that promotes innovative solutions for improved access for cost-effective quality of advanced practice nurses. Psychiatric Nurse Association, Advanced Practice and Business chapters, Central Florida Advanced Practice Nurse Council, Affiliate Florida for American College of Nurse Midwives, and so on. As you can see, Florida Association of Nurse Practitioners is there, Florida Association of Nurse Anesthesiology. These are all the groups from the coalition that members can come and talk to us at times, and we can have you come to the coalition meeting. Essentially, the 4 groups that you see over here is who is there, and we all discuss issues. We work together on a couple of items with other teams. We put things together and we move forward at all times. We're always going forward to advance, and we always want brand new ideas. Next slide, please. I'm watching the time carefully. Quinn Council, the report that we get on that is pretty much unchanged from the last time, but our which would have been our person who's on the Quinn Council, that would have been she's on maternity leave right now. That's Raquel. This pretty much is where we build white papers, we build additional grants and shows along those lines, and also assist in banding together additional tasks that are going on. With that being said, a lot of the participating organizations you might already be on, and if you are on these, that is excellent. We'd like to hear more from you. You can also join some of these additional councils that are going on. With that being said, we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide. Again, I'm really just being careful and watching the clock. The Florida Action Coalition reorganized again in 21. Dr. Adams and Smith are the co-leaders for the newest Action Coalition. Not much of new information has come up on those things at this point. You can see pretty much clearly they demonstrate broad, nonpartisan action for the reports and recommendations that they put together. They represent the business sector at times, the foundations, multiple nursing organizations, focus with the coalition on community and university college information, encouraging high-level leaders from diverse organizations to get involved. There's even more information that comes across, and again, a lot of this has not changed as of yet, and I apologize for being a little bit brief because we do want to make sure that that we have enough time to finish and go and even get questions towards the end. Next slide, please. Those that wish to sponsor we have our programming set up here too. This is our ultimate plans, and you can see across the board what we have. We have our bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and our ultimate, diamond and ultimate. We get a lot of people that come in bringing in the silver and the gold, which is wonderful. Bronze is fairly easy if you choose to be a sponsorship for our shows or for our activities that continue. The conferences, the expos, it could be as simple as a homepage. Um, we encourage everyone to look, and if you think you know someone, we have many that continue. We have lines of people that continue to want to join us and work with us. So we like that. Thank you all so much. If you know them, tell them. See their booths when they're at the different activities that we go through our conferences. Knowing that legislative stuff is coming up shortly, let's go ahead to the next slide. Some of our current sponsors, you can see are set up. And again, a benefit of being membership, at least on the board. If you get to move up on the general board, there's a board and executive board. Um, you too will have your activities or your company, if you have one, it's free sponsorship because this is a volunteer position, as you know. We don't get paid. You already saw who does get paid. But as a courtesy, if you have a company, we want to make sure that you're known to. So our sponsors for today's show is the companies of SNPs, with the Superior Nurse Practitioner Insurance Solutions, Jane, Panhandle Rural Health Primary Care, CPH Insurance, and APARMP Healthcare Solutions. Let's do the next slide. From our last conference, our 25 conference in Orlando, this is one of the many, and actually they're staying in that picture. And there's Vernon, there's myself, and many others that are on the mainly all the board pretty much is there. And we look forward to seeing them again at the next conference coming up in a week or two on the 9th, 10th, and 11th, where we're going to be in Tampa. Remember, when you go, you also get the chance to help pick and choose where we're having the next conference after the conference is completed. And we also have a business conference that comes up towards the end of the year. So we just had our current Shining Strong, Burning Bright nurse practitioner meeting, our nurse practitioner conference. It was a extremely fun activity, which you still can see all the slides that are going on and all the stuff that happened. Let's go to the next slide. And here it is. We've moved forward to March 27th as registration closing. Also, recognize NPEN. NPEN is the business side of our organization that we work with. We work jointly with them at this time for these conferences. They are bringing in several sponsors too, a lot of tables, a lot of activities. If you notice on Thursday the 9th, there's going to be, I think, altogether 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. What's the word I'm looking for? Those are going to be workshops. If you take a look at our board or our webpage, you will see what's up and coming for classes. And these are classes that actually will augment, if you have a business, that can augment your business, or great opportunities for you to maybe open up your own show and do your own, put out your own shingle if you choose, and help out rural communities or help out communities. It's we're working together out in Tampa. We also will be having the biggest part, which will be a lot of the fun part. The exhibits are going to be there like they have. A lot of new people, a lot of people are returning. We will be offering prizes. We do have awards that will be coming out, including the gala and our regular dinner. So if you're registered, if you want to join that, please click on the promo code. Early registration continues. We encourage everyone to come out if you haven't already. And if you're not coming out, give us a heads up why you decided not to. Maybe we can improve on something. Okay, so advancing lead and transformation, strength and unity, FLAMP and NPEN for business, a nationwide organization, will be working with us continuing. We look forward to the partnership as we go forward. Actually, people that are sending notes are blocked off here. Okay, I'm being told that the March 55 code may not be working. I saw that comment there. If it's not working, just give us a call. We'll go ahead and get it corrected accordingly. Sam, go ahead and next slide. Remember, membership referrals. Go through this fairly quickly. Each new member you refer who signs up as a member will earn $20 off your membership fee. I'm going to believe it doesn't quite count for a lot of the senior board members. I say that only because of experience. We have student membership. I can't see after student membership. So we do encourage students to consider. We do talk with the students. We saw them at the conference, not the conference, during legislative days up in Tallahassee. A lot of students really were interested. A lot of them were graduating as practitioners. A lot of them were just finishing up their RN, moving into practitioner. So membership referral system continues. Go ahead. Got to move the names to see what came up. Okay. I got a note from Rosemary because Rosemary, if you think you wanted to try and do the legislative, we can go ahead and try and move up there for a moment. We'll get up to that right away. Sam, do you know where that's set up at? Because Rosemary's got an issue to go on. And I think she may want to speak. Rosemary, did you want to
Hi,
speak?
everybody. I'm at a live meeting. I apologize. I just stepped out right quick. If you want me to do the legislative slides really quickly, if that works out. Otherwise, Lon, you can do it, whatever works out for you.
I think they may be far down. If you have to step away, is there anything that's on the top of your head I can recover, or anything on the top of your head you want to make sure we get out for everybody?
Um, Not really, other than it being a disappointing legislative session, but we have to look at the glass half full. And none of the bills that we had hoped would pass did not pass. None of the bills passed. They either stalled in either in the House or the Senate. Um, but we are fostering relationships with legislators. We're also fostering relationships with other lobbyists, specifically FNA and the physician assistant lobbyists, because a lot of the things that we are trying to work on, we can do together. And we've also waived in support for other bills that were not specifically nurse practitioner led, but they made a lot of medical sense. So our name is getting in front of the legislators, and we're going to continue to progress in this matter.
Okay, I know you're currently doing some other things at the moment, quite busy, important, and I greatly appreciate it that you came in and spoke for a few moments. When the slides come up, I'll go ahead and continue on with anything different. Thank you so much,
Perfect.
Rosemary. God
Thank
bless.
you. Bye-bye.
And thank you for all your work. Up to the, okay, Sam, going to bring us back where we were, as if we were again. Preceptor lists. If you're not already on the preceptor list or you have opportunities for preceptors to be one, obviously we have our link. Please go ahead and take a look. We see emails coming in all the time to refer students. It's kind of overloading. So we would like to ask again. If you have a potential slot, make it available. Let us know if we can make it happen. Moving on to the next slide. This is a continued slide accordingly for the preceptor lists. If you're not on the list and you'd like to be, by all means, sign up onto it. We need you to be there because we do want to push a bill at one point, which, as you heard Rosemary say, nothing really got through. But one bill is us training our own, and that's something very important for us also. But we have some additional, more, even bigger priority things that we continue to work with. Next slide. Okay, coalition meetings. This is a monthly, looking at the other part of it. Florida Action Coalition meetings have kind of been overtaken by our work with the conferences. And a lot of the work that's been going on since our last meeting has been focused on the two meetings or the two conferences we run. Plus, with the legislative days, this is all kind of overlapped and has made it very difficult to make a lot of changes or adjustments. So our monthly board meeting of directors and the executive board meetings have all been meshed at times, just because we're so close to conference and that becomes our biggest focus. When we're not doing conference, we're probably doing legislative days, and this all kind of overlapped. Education and legislative committees continue to meet. The lobbyist group is 180, who's pretty much remaining focused. Quinn Council I've already mentioned. Our regional directors, again, continue to, are in the loop at all times. Again, I encourage you to have a backup person for your sections and making sure you're letting us know when you're running and doing things so that we can make sure we advertise it. Okay, next slide. The FNA health policy meetings, I did not get the most recent report that had occurred, but so I don't have an answer for that particular section. Developing FLA educational presentations to keep Florida's MP up to date. If you're going to the conference, there are significant things that are going on there that will give you educational presentations. Remember, there's CEUs that are there that are relevant. These are all things that are going on at conference, and then throughout the year, we have on the platform many opportunities for you to pick up educational or presentations that you can give to get credit for practicing and for schooling if you're in schooling for furthering your own education. Attendance at the FCA and APN coordination pathway. I don't have an update on that from our last meeting. MLS platform is our continuing education. That's 24/7. This is where a lot of people have begun to add their research if they're either going for a doctorate or a PhD, or some that are coming into this thing, coming into practitioners and the masters, they can start looking and getting ideas and getting references. Constant contact with the Board of Nursing and update rule changes. Well, I will admit, and I don't know if she is here, Fee and I knew each other very well. She's now the new Board of Nursing director in charge. She was on TV a couple of weeks ago with an activity that happened at the hospitals locally. This is up in the Daytona or Volusia Flagler area. But we are in pretty much contact with them on a regular basis. Usually they contact us if there's a question, and then we discuss it accordingly, and they'll defer to us for the decisions as we defer and let them make their final decisions. I believe that Fee is now a nurse practitioner and is a nurse executive also. Other state professional organizations nationwide, NPEN is one of many. NPEN was the first to join us in working with joint efforts in making conferences, expanding conferences that will be going statewide. And then that information does trickle out nationwide. Let's go ahead to the next slide. All right, this is pretty much where Rosemary was coming in. Without being redundant, 40 members, 2 chambers. Legislative meets in session every year for 60 consecutive days. The January to March one just is about finished or is finished. There's a question I see that just popped up over here. Yes, the bills tend to stall. That's a recurrent thing that's going on. Maybe we can answer the question a little better at the end. But this is also why I'm speaking so much quicker to get through the slides, because we are that busy with session finishing, or is pretty much finished and is closed. When we say nothing passed, most of the House of Representatives things pass through and it gets to the Senate, and then the Senate will fire back, because then we get into what's happening on the federal side, and the federal side impacts the state side, and it just keeps going back and forth. Special sessions may be called either by the governor or by joint proclamation. Because of activities that are changing on a regular basis at the state level, they're not calling out for new meetings at this point. Any extensions to regular sessions or any special sessions can be called, but they have not done any of these things at this point, and they don't plan on doing it at this point. There's going to be some changes with our governor that are up and coming with, he's terming out, I believe, also. So we have a lot to look forward to and a lot of new things that'll be occurring and a lot to follow. Next slide. If you're not sure about it, you're more than welcome to look at this and then take a look on the state websites. On the state website for bills, Senate bills are usually even numbered, House bills are odd numbered. A bill should have a companion bill in the other branch to move through. Sometimes they never get a companion bill and that's why they die. Or the companion bill doesn't pass because those are the additional things that are being asked for in an effort to make both sides of the House function. If you've never been to the House or you've never been up there for legislative days, I'd recommend one opportunity that you get and go up there and enjoy it with us when we're there, especially. We sit in the rotundas, we listen to them talk, we listen to them make decisions, and we watch things pass the House and then we wait to see if they go into the Senate, and then we hear all the arguments back and forth. And that's politics. And we all have work to do on top of that. Next slide. We're always, probably the best thing that happens if a bill does pass, at least the House, or the Senate, either way, is that we build continued relationships. We went door to door, which means that big tall building we were in, and we went and met many of the people. We built brand new relationships, some of them with some of the military people that were there. I'm very pro-military, and that's another topic, but we get a chance to talk with them and find out why they don't like a bill or why they do like a bill. And a lot of times we saw our bills that we wanted to push, they changed their mind from a negative to a positive after we spoke. A lot of them really seemed to like us when we were talking to them. I know they talked to me very openly, and I thought it was really a lot of fun talking with them and meeting them. High profile people, it's okay. I'm a high profile person. Okay. Educate the public. We educate them on what nurse practitioners is. I would say if I saw 10 individually, I would say 8 of them didn't know what an APRN was, but they knew what a nurse practitioner was. So that's something, a big thing to consider. Most people have no idea what an APRN is, but they'll know what a nurse practitioner is. And the difference is that one is kind of a slang name, nurse practitioner, whereas an APRN is what the state calls us. We're continuing to push for credentialing with the insurance companies. That's the next topic. That's where the business side comes in. We have a lot of companies that are coming from across the nation to try to help us work on that full practice authority, which can be very skewed when looking at autonomous practice. So be careful when you're doing autonomous. It's not full practice. There's a lot of things we cannot do. I'll let you look at the book, let you look at some information, or give us a call. We'll tell you the things that you may or may not be doing. So please be careful. We're not the police, but we will definitely educate. But we're trying to impanel NPs on insurance companies. Unfortunately, these are private businesses, and the private businesses need the money, and they want the money. And you're looking at the potential of them having to increase NPs' pay or decrease the physician's pay. And neither of those are going to be happy and make the insurance companies that are private happy. So what do you think's decided? And there's a balance there that's just not happening. We talk about limitations on prescription and controlled substances. We went through that again. Nothing went much further than the House. Advocate for autonomous MPs to supervise other MPs. I mentioned that before, and we'll continue to do such. Full practice authority will continue. I can act in Medicare restricting MP language with federal stakeholders. This will continue to be, but that's a federal statute. Way before most of our times, that was actually written how our salaries are being paid. And it's this federal side that actually states under Medicaid, CMS, Dr. Oz and them, that actually states what our salary is capped at 85%, not the state, the federal. So everyone's following Medicaid. Next slide, please. Rural communities, important bills. The people, these bills are all important, but it does mention what a few things that Rosemary talked about. But even more important, all Britain we got to meet and deal with. We understand what happened. We understand where they're coming from. The bills on SB 250, it's companion bill 723 for rural counties. It all stalled in the House. It never made it any further on the committee. But Senator Albritton was very positive and pushed, and unfortunately, it still didn't make it. Next slide. 304, Dr. Schoaf, advanced practice, autonomous practice for psych. We really thought that was going to make it through both, and it went very well. Referred to the rules in the Senate, died in the Senate. Never even made it to the calendar. Why? None of us even understand why. When everybody said from the House and from the Senate, they were all happy with the idea. We don't understand why the final numbers came out. Senator Trudeau also came out and also in agreement. So again, health policies and appropriations committees, things stalled in going into the Senate. These are big advocates for us. I would love for you all to meet these people, talk to them about what's going on, see if they have any better ideas or newer ideas. Maybe you have an idea uh, to try and get it into the Senate and pass through the Senate. Both, unfortunately, did not make it through, as Rosemary said. Next slide. 375, again, died in Senate, was never put on the calendar. That has the nurse anesthetist companion components out in it. There was a dental, not dental assistant, dental, it's not a dental assistant. There was another one that passed that surprised us that allows the dental, I'm going to call them the assistant, but that's the inappropriate word. But there was a bill that both House and Senate passed to now allow almost like a dental office. The dental assistants can now do additional work. I don't have that in front of me. The autonomous practice for nurse anesthetists pretty much died again. Although we're behind them, we support them, we stand with them. Both Rodriguez and I cannot say Gilbrandard, I can't say it correct. My apologies. We're very, very active on these bills, and we are trying to work with the nurse anesthetists, and we are jointly with them side by side trying to make this happen. Next, excuse me. Next slide, please. Redondo's Health Services Community Bill also included the bill for autonomous practice. It died again. It never made it in the county. There was no companion bill, but also, if you've seen the slide, you've seen all these slides here. If you go onto the state website and you type in these bills, you'll be able to watch what happens with them, and you'll understand even better if you read through them what is going on. But these are some of the big things that we've been focused on, and standing there side by side with the senators and the representatives, those that are understanding it and those that are not, we're actually telling them, hey, what's the problem? Now, I did meet one, and I'm not going to give the name out because I'm going to have another meeting with one who was military and was against the nurse practitioners even practicing autonomous. He and I have had some additional conversations, and he's reconsidering. So we'll see what happens about full practice with at least maybe one vote. If I have 13, we have 1,300 plus people, and each one of us get one person to move over. It's 1,300 people, which makes everything happen. Next slide, please. So again, now here you got to understand when you are up there, you only get one chance to make a first impression. Well, those that know critical care, those that know ER, those that are involved with when we're all like saving lives, you have 30 seconds. You walk in there and you either speak right, you need to behave right, and you need to do the job. And you have to make it happen within that first 30 seconds or you've lost them. Dressing professionally, we all do that. And if you're not sure about if you're dressing professionally, look at the person next to you when you're there. Wear your jacket if you have to, which is just as good. I like in this case, the one example I've got is, Joey, picture's right there. I'm picking on Joey because I know him. And he's got a nice shirt on, he's got his tie on, but I don't remember the last time I wore a tie. I'm always in scrubs, but I wear my jacket when I go and see people. But that is also a beautiful way of doing it. That would be wonderful. If you're not sure how to dress. Moving on to the next slide. Watching the verbiage. Physician, not doctor. Full practice authority is not independent practice. None of us practice independently. We depend on our colleagues. And this is something that Rosemary brought home, and this was something very, very important in the way we speak. And I'm going to hang on the slide for a moment longer. Physicians are not doctors. A doctor, I say it this way, because a physician is the profession, where a doctor is a designation. I say that again. The doctorate is the educational degree. If you have a doctorate, whether it's a nurse practitioner, whether it's an attorney, whether it's any number of things, OT, PT, everyone that's getting doctorates, that's a degree. You're allowed to say you're a doctor, but you must state Doctor of Nursing. Hi, my name is Dr. Long, nurse practitioner. How may I help you today? In-network providers, non-empanelment, that whole thing is what I mentioned earlier, where in-network providers that are not empanelment, that's a business deal. They also look at the terms. it gets confusing for everybody at that point. But with that being said, it's a business deal. It's a business side. So if you have a physician with you, you probably are in network with people. But if you don't have a physician with you, you may not be. APRNs practice nursing. Physicians practice medicine. I'm sorry, I should read that again. APRNs, that's a nurse practitioner, practice nursing to its fullest extent. Physicians practice medicine. So when you're talking, you do not say I'm practicing medicine. I'm a nurse practitioner. I practice nursing, and it encompasses the following. We also stopped using the word scope of practice. Those are legal terms. Buzz phrases used by the physicians and other groups, and I'm sorry to attack them because they're our peers. You know, we're not better, we're not worse. We collaborate, work together. We all look at the same book. But it insinuates that we're trying to move our role or change the way we're practicing. So the word scope we no longer say. We work as practicing nursing to our fullest capacity. Our scope, we don't even use the terms any longer. APRN is an umbrella term which falls under the ones that you see listed here at this point in time. Each profession is also part of the Florida Coalition. There's a lot of chat that's going on. Thank you, Joey, and so on. I'm sorry I can't read all of them at the same time. Again, I'll try to leave some time at the very end. I just realized, and I thank everybody that's here for tonight. And I apologize once again for the difficulties in coming on early. Go ahead to the next slide, please. Our learning management or LMS system has changed from, is the APRN practice nursing a talking point? Is it really practicing medicine, not nursing? This is a question that came in the chat room. We'll take one more look at that later on. Our learning management system is the Hippolyte move to Freestone. Freestone is where we're at. If you're not sure about it, please contact us via telephone or via email. Freestone is powered by the, I can't say it right if I try. I'm not going to try. And we are approved in all of these different states for CEs and our broker numbers accordingly. Let me glance at again the question that came up here. Is the APRN practice, hello Michael, is the APRN practice nursing a talking point? Always has been. In reality, we practice medicine, not nursing. We do practice nursing, and inside the nursing practice, we do treat and we do see patients, but that's not really medicine. Splitting hairs, but the physicians jump all over it all the time. But we definitely practice nursing. Let's go to the next slide, please. Colin Powell, cool. Are you ready to lead for the future of nurse practitioners? FLANP continues to seek for people that are, thank you, Michael. We're continuing to have new people. I mentioned something like this earlier already. It's always an opportunity where you can change. You are a change agent. Being on our board or even on the executive board, we want new people on a regular basis, 2 years, 4 years. Some of us do longer terms if we have to. We need and we want the new ideas. We want the people that are available. We also let you know that this is not a paid position. This is an opportunity where you can change and influence advocacy efforts and represent the voice of Florida as all NPs. Take a look at the thing to the right, where leadership is all about. Whether you're a seasoned leader or a fresh perspective, all of your experience, the vision that you can drive meaningful change, apply for board positions, help us advance the mission statewide. Those that are on the existing boards, thank you, Joey. I wish you could say that generally to everybody, but you're 100% correct. That's it. We practice advanced nursing. I appreciate the adjustment on my terminology. All of you are leaders. All of you are in charge. All of you have the opportunity now to do something about what we're doing. We need your help. We want you there. And the more of you that are there and coming up and working with us, the better we're going to be. Even after we do get full practice authority, it doesn't stop. We continue to go forward. Next slide, please. Fraud alert. We've seen this big recent surge of the emails and the phone calls. Pretty much, if you're on the board, we talk about this, but they're targeting Florida Health, most of the practitioners, impersonating the DOH, concerned about your license. If you suspect it's a question, contact the board yourself. Don't respond to the email or the text. You will get something from the MQA or from Department of Health in the mail. At that point, you can always investigate there. I did receive a phone call, many phone calls that were coming in, but they weren't speaking the same language that I was. They were informing me my DEA license was in question, and I'm like, well, okay, I didn't know about that. They knew a lot about me, but until then, they wouldn't give me more information until I did pay them X amount of dollars to be able to discuss the case further. I contacted eventually myself a few days later and found out there was nothing going on. Everything's clean. So please watch carefully. Don't use a knee-jerk reaction and respond inadvertently, which unfortunately might be hurtful. Go ahead. Next slide, please. Again, I think essentially I'm saying protect yourself. Once you recognize something is happening, notify the Medical Quality Insurance Board. And again, this was an issue that came up too. MQA does not send suspensions via telephone or an email. No, it doesn't happen that way. And this is all saying a lot of stuff here to protect yourself. Pay attention. You pay attention to the patients, pay attention for your license, and watch and be careful. And tell the people you're working with. If you have people that are working with you and you are the one in charge, please let them know the same thing, not to give out your information without your permission. Okay, next slide. This is the number, which is the contact call center, 850-488-0595 for the MQA. Any questions about a potential scam or any questions you have going on, call them. May I suggest you take a look anyway to make sure your license is good to go, that action was taken you didn't know about. You may not be aware of things that are happening at some times. 5 years ago, something could have occurred. It's now popping up. It's posted, but you have to look. Okay, next slide. A physician who supervises an advanced registered nurse practitioner, I'm sorry, at the medical office, this is pretty much discussing the statutes. If you have the book, I encourage you to get the book because this is the law. When you are doing things, and the one here that we're citing, because there's a lot of people that are a little bit confused about whether they can or cannot. And this is on 458.348, subsection 3, subtitle section C. Allows a physician to supervise an APR or PA at one additional office other than the primary office where dermatological or skincare services are primarily offered. I'll leave that alone because many of you might be working in the scenarios that need to be aware. The physician shall submit to the board the addresses of all their offices. Again, this is talking about statute 458. If you're on the senior board or the executive board and or part of the board, you learn all this because it's more and more Board of Nursing and a lot of legislative and significant statutes, rules, and regulations and how they're interpreted. Please be safe. Please be careful. Know what you're talking about as best you can. Understand if you're not sure or ask. You're never wrong to ask. Next slide, please. AEMP. This is where a lot of our senior executive board members that have come in or that are beginning to head out are now facing. We have an advocacy board. We have an advocacy committee on the senior board, which is only the people that have turned in if you are on those sections. And the idea is we never want to lose you, but we want you to help us move forward. You'll be advising the president. You might be advising the senior board, but you're mainly facing towards the AMP and national to hold national standards and bring to Florida what's going on. But new elections have started. They are currently going. If you've not yet seen what's on there now, our treasurer, which is also our last president, Vernon Langford, Dr. Langford, is on there. We hope you take a look at the people that are running for those offices and make your choices. We'd rather have a large volume of people voting than a small volume of people voting. Many people would have, and make your decisions. So it's a reminder. These are some dates you need to be aware of. If you're a member of AEMP, be sure to vote for the next president-elect, the recording secretaries, the regions and such that are coming that you can see here as well as I can. The one that Vernon's running for at this time is state liaison. I'm hoping he wins, so I won't deny. I'm not afraid to vote. I did. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide, please. Again, if you're not sure what we're talking about, that's fine. We have written the first book in the state of Florida. You can get the handbook, which is on the right, or you can download it on your phone. It is there. Ignorance is not an excuse. When in doubt, look at the book. When in doubt, jump on their website. Probably easier to grab the book or grab your phone. I know I have it on my phone and I have the book. And if you're fortunate enough to meet some of the board members, which we hope if you come to the conference or if you're at the conference, bring your book and get the first one signed by one of us. I just committed all of the board members that wrote the book. Paul won't be there due to some extenuating circumstances, but Vernon and I will be there, and so many of the other board members that helped in writing the book. But the three of us, myself, Paul, and Vernon, were the primary writers on the whole thing. And I know that Vernon and I will sign it. Paul, again, won't be there, but we'll find a way. So I encourage you to do that or get the book when you arrive. It's discounted. Or, again, Amazon has it. Again, ignorance is not an excuse. There's every way to get this information now. And the second book is coming out too. We've already begun phase 2, or the next book, the second book. First edition is done, is 2024. It is the first, and it's FLAMP. The next one will be coming out, not shortly, but soon. We are heavily in works with that at this time. Going on to the next slide. Our resources, I got to slide over a little bit. The links to our advocacy resources are always available. There's downloads, there's information to review all the time. The coalition information gets loaded. The recorded presentations on burnout compassion, that's from Dr. Langford. So let's look at that. I would encourage everyone to see that one because it seems to be where a lot of us are at and don't realize it. These are wonderful resources that on a regular basis you will get credits for some of these. Just double check, like off the top of my head. But we all need this stuff. And what is this stuff? It is our leadership that is giving us our resources. They give us the chance to study, practice, and do, and be successful. Next slide, please. So again, it says do something. I'm going to move some slides around so I can see things at times. If you're not seeking a board position, you can always join a committee. So how do you participate? We got one way to get active is join a legislative committee. That would be Rosemary and others that are coming in. And you'll learn all about those numbers and all the Senate and all the different House bills and all that's going on, and how we're continuing to advocate with NPEN and other groups to push our agendas. There's a conference committee. There's all because we have 2 conferences a year now. Our business group and our regular conference 2 weeks from now. That's up and showing. Our educational committee, we'll have someone who needs to be moving into that slot to be in charge of it. Our basic education. If you own your own practice, there is a new business ownership committee. And we're always looking for new people to come in and take over from the ones that started for the simple reason. We want the new blood. We want the new ideas. Participate. We encourage it. We welcome you. Try it. If you don't like it, okay, understood. All right, next slide, please. This is pretty much repeats everything I just mentioned. You assist the, social media committee assists the chairs in design and implementing social content and moving forward. Membership committees also work on increasing and developing and maintaining and troubleshooting member issues and questions and problems. Educational committee is for basic education that a lot of organizations also carry, but we also have a few other items that are on there and how to implement, maintain, and monitor. Communications, they're the ones that are facing outward. If something like a natural disaster occurs, hurricanes and all that, what is FLAMP doing? That's where everything gets pumped through is our communications committee, where our communications director will turn around and officially give the go. This is also where our radio, TV, internet, podcasting, etc. comes through. Legislative committee, this is where all the numbers and all the real meat and the rubber meets the road. So on your license and how you work. Okay, next slide. How else can you participate? Please notify other practitioners. I have many that don't even know any companies exist or any organizations exist. Educate. Educate your patients, educate your family, educate yourself. Teach, do, grab the book again. I'm sorry, I said it again, grab the book. I use the book as a business card now, but do everything that you can to let people know. My biggest thing, I tell you this quietly, so don't let anybody hear about it. Tell them what an APRN is. Number 3, share our emails. You'll see us on Facebook, Twitter, all the different social medias. Share the information. That's all. Hit the button. It's not more than a button. And encourage your colleagues to consider joining us as we continue to improve and assist our fellow nurse practitioners and our peers to be successful and help. What more is there? We're helping out the communities, rural communities, non-rural communities. We are providing services. This is what we got into this for. We got into nursing for this. We're at the top of our game. Make it happen. Next slide, please. This is the last slide. It's 10 minutes after 9, which meant I ran an hour. I can only apologize. I think we're going to get ready to take questions, but I do believe we turn off the recording at this time, but we can take some questions after we turn off the recordings. I leave it to those that I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I can only commend you for spending the time on this evening and as much time as we did and listening to my monotonous voice at times go, go, and go. Yes, I'll be at conference. I might be playing my guitar up on stage, but I'm the one that wears that red, white, and blue jacket because I, too, am retired military, and there's a few others that are here today that are currently in active duty, and our blessings go out to you and the families that you're taking care of.